Virgo, have you noticed it? The quiet signs that won't leave you alone. A feather landing where no wind blows, a rabbit showing up when you least expect it, numbers that follow you from morning till night. You're not imagining it. Something is calling you closer, and deep down you can feel it. You're standing at the edge of a shift you can't explain, but you know it's coming. Hey Virgo, I want to welcome you back to Dharma Cosmos. I'm so glad you're here today because we're going to talk about something powerful, something that's already stirring inside you. We're stepping into a moment of profound energetic shift, and it's happening on May 18th. That date might not mean much on the surface, but astrologically it marks a day of reckoning, a day when truths rise to the surface, when hidden emotions start knocking on the door of your heart, asking to be seen. You see, the world around us is spinning fast. Everyone seems to be rushing from one thing to another, chasing deadlines, checking off to-do lists, running to keep up. But here's the thing, you don't have to run with it. Spirit is calling you to slow down, to breathe, to listen. Because while the world is shouting, your soul is whispering, and if you don't slow down, you'll miss what it's trying to say. I know that sounds easier said than done. Slowing down in a world that values speed can feel like swimming upstream. But Virgo, you've always been a little different. You've always had this quiet wisdom, this inner knowing that the answers aren't always in the noise, but in the silence. This is a time to return to that part of yourself, to reconnect with your inner compass, to ground your voice in truth, not urgency. When I was growing up, my grandmother used to tell me stories about how every season carried its own message. She'd say, in the spring, the earth whispers of renewal. In the summer, it sings of abundance. But in the stillness of late spring, there's a pause, a waiting, a watching. That's where we are right now. We're in that sacred pause. And it's in that pause where spirit moves the most. Think about the last time you really sat with yourself, not distracted by your phone, not half watching TV, but truly sitting, breathing, listening. When was the last time you let yourself feel what was underneath the busyness? For many of us, it's been too long. And that's why this moment matters. That's why May 18th is significant. It's an invitation, an opening, a call back home. I've been talking to so many Virgos lately who've told me they've been seeing repeated numbers 48, 24, 333. Some have been dreaming of rabbits. Others have found feathers in unexpected places. These aren't random. They're signs, markers along the path letting you know you're exactly where you need to be. They're the universe's way of saying, I see you. Keep going. So today, I want to invite you to slow down with me. Let's not rush through this moment. Let's honor it. Let's sit together in this pause and open ourselves to the messages waiting for us. Because Virgo, something profound is unfolding. And if you listen closely, if you pay attention to the quiet, you'll hear it. You'll feel it. You'll know. And that knowing, that's your power. That's your magic. Virgo, let's take a moment and talk about the signs. Maybe lately you've been noticing things that feel a little too intentional to be coincidences. Like seeing a rabbit dart across your yard early in the morning, or maybe a white feather landing right in front of you when you're out on a walk. Or perhaps you keep seeing the number 48 pop up everywhere on receipts, clocks, license plates. At first, you might have brushed it off, but now it's starting to feel like something's trying to get your attention. I've had so many Virgos reach out to me lately saying they've been flooded with signs like these. One person told me they kept seeing rabbits every single day for a week straight. Another said they dreamed of feathers falling from the sky, and every time they woke up, they'd find a real feather waiting outside their front door. It gave them chills. And maybe you're experiencing the same thing. These signs aren't random. They're part of a conversation. The universe is speaking to you in symbols, in patterns, in little moments that make you pause. The rabbit is a message of abundance, fertility, new beginnings. The feather is a sign of angelic protection, a reminder that you are watched over, that unseen forces are guiding you. And the number 48. It speaks of stability, building solid foundations, preparing for a chapter that's going to require you to stand strong in your truth. When I think back to times in my own life when I was getting signs like this, I remember feeling both excited and overwhelmed. There's something thrilling about knowing the universe is trying to reach you, but it also makes you realize you're standing at a threshold. You're being asked to pay attention, to be present, to not dismiss what's unfolding around you. One friend shared with me that after she started seeing these signs, she began journaling them every day. She wrote down each number, each animal, each unusual coincidence, and over time a pattern emerged. It was like the universe was laying out breadcrumbs, showing her where to go, what decisions to make, even when to pause and wait. She told me that journaling her signs helped her trust her own intuition more than she ever had before. And that's something I want to encourage you to do, Virgo. Start keeping track of the signs. Write them down. Draw them if you're a visual person. Speak them out loud, because the more you acknowledge them, the more you'll see. The universe loves a responsive listener, and the more you lean in, the clearer the conversation becomes. You might be wondering why all these signs are coming up now. Well, that's because we're in a season of alignment. Things that were once hidden are coming to light. Paths that felt blocked are opening, but you need to stay awake, stay aware, stay receptive. The signs are guiding you towards something bigger, something that's meant for you and you alone. Let me tell you about a Virgo who emailed me last week. She said she kept seeing 3333 everywhere, clocks, addresses, even random digital counters. At first, she didn't think much of it. But one night, after a particularly hard day, she saw it again and decided to look it up. When she read that 333 is a sign of divine support and encouragement to pursue your creative gifts, she cried. She realized she'd been ignoring her passion for painting for years. The next day, she pulled out her brushes and started painting again. That one sign reignited her joy. That's the power of these signs, Virgo. They're not just pretty coincidences, they're invitations. They're nudges from the universe saying you're not alone, you're on the right path, keep going. They're like cosmic breadcrumbs leading you home to yourself. So as you move through this season, I want you to stay open. Pay attention to the patterns. Notice the signs that keep showing up, and know that every feather, every rabbit, every number is a message just for you. It's your spiritual team cheering you on, saying you've got this. Virgo, now that we've talked about the signs showing up in your life, let's go deeper and start decoding what they actually mean for you. Because these signs aren't just meant to make you curious, they're meant to guide you. Each one is a breadcrumb leading you somewhere, pointing you toward a message you're meant to receive right now. Let's start with the rabbit. When the rabbit keeps appearing for you, it's a symbol of abundance, growth, and quick movement. It's the universe telling you that something is multiplying in your life, that blessings are gathering speed. But it's also a gentle warning to be mindful of where your energy is multiplying. Are you pouring your time and energy into things that nourish you, or things that drain you? Then there's the feather. Every time you find a feather, it's like a quiet whisper from your spiritual team. It's their way of saying, we're here. We're watching over you. Some believe feathers are signs from angels, letting you know you're protected even when life feels uncertain. And if you've been seeing a lot of white feathers, that's often connected to peace, clarity, and spiritual cleansing. It's an invitation to let go of the heaviness you've been carrying and trust that you're being supported in ways you can't see. And what about the number 48? This number shows up when the universe wants you to focus on building a strong foundation. It's a number of stability, responsibility, and preparation. Seeing 48 repeatedly is like a gentle nudge, reminding you that you're laying the groundwork for something big. It's saying, stay committed, stay steady, keep going, even when progress feels slow. One Virgo friend told me she kept seeing 48 during a time when she was questioning whether to keep working on a long-term project. She felt stuck, like nothing was moving forward. But every time she thought about quitting, the number 48 would pop up on her clock, on receipts, on random signs. She realized it was the universe encouraging her to stay the course, to trust the process even when results weren't immediate. And sure enough, a few months later, everything started falling into place. That's what these signs are about, Virgo. They're messages of encouragement, reminders to trust the journey, but they're also invitations to take action. It's not enough to just notice the signs you're being asked to respond to them, to align your actions with the guidance you're receiving. So, I want to invite you right now to think about the signs that have been showing up in your life. Write them down. Reflect on them. Ask yourself, what might this be pointing me toward? What action am I being called to take? And once you have an answer, even if it's just a small step, take it. Because the universe responds to movement. When you move in faith, even a little, doors begin to open. Virgo, if you've been seeing these signs, rabbits, feathers, numbers like 48, I want you to comment and claim this moment. Claim that you are ready to receive the guidance, the blessing, the clarity that these signs are bringing into your life. Right. I see the signs and I claim 777. Let this be your declaration, your agreement with the universe that you are awake, aware, and ready to walk the path being laid out before you. Virgo, now that you've been paying attention to the signs, I want to talk to you about something deeper, because seeing the signs is just the beginning. Once you start noticing them, the next step is looking inward. The universe isn't just pointing you outward, it's pointing you inward, asking you to face the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. This is where the real work begins. You see, when the judgment card shows up, when the strength card comes into play, it's a sign that you're being called to confront your shadows. Maybe you've been carrying old fears, old doubts, old wounds that you've tucked away because they felt too heavy to deal with. But now, those things are surfacing, not to punish you, but to free you. I know it's not easy. Facing your shadows can feel like standing in front of a mirror and seeing everything you've tried to hide. It can feel like battling a part of yourself that doesn't want to let go. That's why some people describe it as wrestling with a lion or standing face to face with a werewolf. It's intense. It's raw. It's uncomfortable. But Virgo, it's also powerful. One Virgo friend told me she started having vivid dreams of wolves chasing her. At first, she was terrified. But the more she dreamed, the more she realized the wolves weren't there to harm her. They were trying to get her attention. They were her own fears, her own suppressed emotions, asking to be acknowledged. When she finally stopped running in her dream and faced the wolves, they stopped chasing her. That dream marked the beginning of her healing journey. That's what this season is about. Virgo, it's not about perfection. It's not about having it all figured out. It's about having the courage to face what's been hidden, to sit with the uncomfortable feelings, to ask the hard questions. What am I afraid of? What have I been avoiding? What's been holding me back? And here's the beautiful part. Every time you face a fear, every time you sit with a difficult emotion, you reclaim a piece of your power. You stop giving that fear control over you. You take it back. That's why the strength card isn't about brute force, it's about inner fortitude, about gentle resilience, about taming the wildness within with compassion, not aggression. I want you to know that you're not alone in this process. Everyone has shadows. Everyone has fears. Everyone has things they're not proud of. But the bravest thing you can do is to look at those parts of yourself with honesty and love. To say, I see you. I understand why you're here. And I'm ready to heal. One way to start is by writing down the fears that keep coming up. Put them on paper. Sometimes seeing them written out makes them feel less overwhelming. Another way is to talk to someone you trust, a friend, a therapist, a mentor. Speaking your fears out loud can take away their power. And if you're more of a private person, try meditating on them, sitting in stillness and simply observing them without judgment. Virgo, I want you to remember that this work you're doing isn't just for you. As you heal, you create a ripple effect. Your healing impacts your family, your friends, your community. You become a source of light for others. And that light doesn't come from pretending everything's perfect. It comes from embracing your wholeness, shadows and all. So as you walk this path, be gentle with yourself. Celebrate every small victory. Every time you face a fear, every time you choose courage over avoidance, you're moving forward. And that movement, no matter how small it feels, is progress. If this message speaks to you, Virgo, I invite you to comment and claim this moment. Write, I face my fears and I claim 777. Let it be your declaration, your commitment to the journey, your affirmation that you're ready to step into the fullness of who you are. Virgo, after facing the shadows, there's something even more powerful waiting for you, a turning point. This is the moment when the wheel of fortune starts to spin in your favor. You might not see it happening yet, but trust me, the shift is already in motion. Life has a way of rewarding those who do the deep inner work. And right now, the universe is aligning things behind the scenes to open doors that were once closed. Think of this moment like standing at the entrance of a cave. For a long time, you've been inside, doing the hard work, reflecting, healing. And now, it's as if the stone blocking the entrance is starting to move. Light is pouring in. It's like that moment when Jesus stepped out of the tomb. It's not just about stepping into the light, it's about stepping into a whole new chapter. I've talked to many Virgos who told me that after they faced their fears, they started noticing breakthroughs in unexpected places. One woman told me that she finally had the courage to apply for a job she'd been dreaming about for years. Within a week, she got the interview and then the offer. Another Virgo said that after a long period of feeling stuck in her relationship, she had an honest conversation that led to healing and a stronger bond. That's what happens when you do the work. The universe responds to courage. Every step you take toward growth sends a signal that you're ready for more. The wheel of fortune is a reminder that life moves in cycles. Sometimes we're on top, sometimes we're at the bottom. But no matter where you are, the wheel keeps turning. And right now, Virgo, it's turning upward for you. But here's the key you have to be willing to step out of the cave. You have to say yes to the opportunities, even if they scare you. You have to trust that the path unfolding before you is meant for you, even if you don't see every step clearly. Faith is what bridges the gap between where you are and where you're meant to be. One thing I encourage you to do during this time is to look for small signs of progress. Celebrate them. Maybe it's a compliment from someone you respect. Maybe it's a random opportunity that shows up in your inbox. Maybe it's a feeling of peace that wasn't there before. Every small sign is evidence that the wheel is turning. And the more you notice and appreciate these moments, the more momentum you build. Virgo, if this message resonates with you, if you're ready to step into this new chapter, I invite you to claim it. Write in the comments, I receive my breakthrough and I claim 777. Let this be your affirmation, your declaration to the universe that you're ready to step into the light, to embrace the blessings, to walk forward with faith and courage. Virgo, now that you've stepped into this new chapter, let's talk about how to stay grounded as you move forward. Because here's the truth, even as blessings come, even as opportunities unfold, life will still test you. Staying connected to your center is what will help you navigate it all with grace. One of the most powerful ways to stay grounded is by connecting with nature. Maybe that's as simple as taking your shoes off and standing barefoot in the grass. Feel the earth beneath you. Let it remind you that you are supported. Or maybe it's going for a walk in the park, sitting under a tree, listening to the birds. Nature has a way of calming the noise in our minds, bringing us back to what's real. A Virgo friend shared with me that every morning, she steps outside with her coffee and just watches the sunrise. She doesn't check her phone, doesn't scroll social media. She just watches. She told me that in those few quiet moments, she feels more clarity, more peace than at any other time in her day. And that stillness sets the tone for everything else. I encourage you, Virgo, to find your own grounding ritual. Maybe it's journaling, maybe it's deep breathing, maybe it's spending time with your pets. And I'd love to hear from you. Virgo, do you have a grounding ritual that keeps you steady? Maybe it's journaling, maybe it's walking barefoot in the grass, maybe it's something unique to you. Share it in the comments. I want to know what brings you back to yourself. The point is to create intentional moments where you reconnect with yourself, where you pause and listen to what's happening inside. Because as you grow, as you step into new levels, staying rooted in your truth is what will keep you steady. And here's something else. As you do this work, as you heal and rise, people around you will notice. Your light will start shining brighter. Some will be drawn to it. Some might even feel intimidated by it. That's natural. Not everyone will understand the journey you're on, but that doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. In fact, it's a sign that you're stepping into leadership. I've known Virgos who, after doing their inner work, became mentors, guides, teachers in their own communities, not because they set out to be leaders, but because their healing inspired others. Their courage gave permission for others to be brave. And I believe the same is possible for you. There's a ripple effect that happens when one person heals. It touches their family, their friends, their co-workers, and slowly, it shifts the energy of entire communities. That's the quiet power of healing. It's not always loud. It's not always visible, but it's transformative. I remember one Virgo who told me she started sharing little pieces of her journey online, just simple reflections, lessons she was learning. At first, she didn't think anyone was paying attention, but over time, people started reaching out, thanking her for her words, saying how much it helped them. What she thought was just her private healing became a light for others. That's the invitation for you too, Virgo, to let your healing overflow, to let it inspire, encourage, uplift. And you don't have to be perfect to be a light. You just have to be real. You just have to show up with honesty and heart. So today, I want to invite you to think about the ways you can stay grounded and the ways you can share your journey. Maybe it's starting a journal. Maybe it's having deeper conversations with trusted friends. Maybe it's simply living your truth boldly, unapologetically. Whatever it looks like, know that your authenticity is powerful. Your story matters. And if this message is speaking to you, Virgo, if you're ready to root yourself in truth and let your healing ripple out into the world, I invite you to claim it. Write in the comments, I ground myself in love and I claim 777. Let this be your declaration, your commitment to stay steady, to stay open, to stay shining as you walk forward into this next season of your life. And remember, Virgo, your healing doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It's not a race. It's not a checklist. It's a journey. Some days will feel light and joyful. Other days will feel heavy and messy. Both are part of the process. Both are holy. And every day you choose to keep going, you're choosing yourself. That choice is sacred. I want you to know that even in the moments when you feel like nothing's changing, transformation is still happening beneath the surface. Just like seeds take time to sprout, your inner growth takes time to bloom. Trust the timeline. Trust the unfolding. Trust the small shifts that are adding up in ways you can't yet see. Virgo, as we come to the close of this message, I want you to take a deep breath and really let everything sink in. You've walked through a lot today. From paying attention to the signs, to facing your fears, to stepping into your breakthrough, to grounding yourself and shining your light. This isn't just a casual moment in your life. This is a turning point, a sacred chapter, and you've earned every step that brought you here. I want you to know that you are more powerful than you realize. You've carried so much, and yet you're still standing. You've healed through things people never even knew you went through, and you've done it with grace, with strength, with a quiet determination that not everyone sees, but that the universe honors. There's something beautiful about reaching this point. It's like standing on the top of a mountain and looking back at how far you've climbed. The challenges, the setbacks, the lessons, they were all part of shaping you into the person you are today. And now, as you stand here, you're being invited to take that next step forward, not in fear, but in faith. So Virgo, if this message has spoken to your heart, if you feel the shift happening inside you, I invite you to claim it. Let this be your moment. Write in the comments, I receive this blessing and I claim 777. Let it be your agreement with the universe that you're ready to receive the abundance, the peace, the love, the opportunities that are waiting for you, ready to step boldly into the life that's been preparing itself for you all along. And remember, Virgo, you don't have to see the whole path right now. You just need to take the next right step. Trust that with every step you take in alignment with your truth, the path will unfold. The right people will show up. The right doors will open. The right opportunities will find you. Your only job is to stay open, stay willing, stay present, because your journey is unfolding exactly as it's meant to, in perfect timing, with perfect grace.